Hey everybody, welcome back to the BuQeye Barbecue Lake Camp. So today we're gonna do some pork belly burnt ends. I got a nice pork belly from a local butcher shop and these are great. I absolutely love them. And the nice thing about being at the lake camp is we can use the pit barrel cooker, which resides here and not at our normal house. So I always look forward to using the pit barrel, such a fun cooker to cook with. So we're gonna get started by getting the charcoal lit for the pit barrel, and then we'll get our pork belly ready. So thanks for joining, and we'll bring you right back. So this is our firebox for the pit barrel cooker. I've got a paint can that I got from Amazon that I've taken the bottom out of. It's a empty, unused paint can, and I've cut some slits in each side so it will fit over and around the handle for the firebox for the pit barrel. So I'm going to put this in the bottom of the pit barrel cooker, and then I'm going to light a half chimney of charcoal briquettes. And when those are ashed over, I'm going to pour it down in the center of the paint can, and then I'm going to pull that paint can off, and that'll start kind of a minion method of lit charcoal in the center, and it'll spread out on each side of where the paint can is now and slowly ignite and run this cooker for a long time for these pork belly burnt ends. So I hope I explained that well. It's sort of my go-to method for lighting the pit barrel cooker. So we're gonna go ahead and get the chimney lit. I won't worry about showing you that. It's just a charcoal chimney. It is the half-size chimney though, so you'll see it when I dump it in the pit barrel. And that's actually really handy for lighting drum smokers because it's not very tall, so you can get it down in there and dump it without dumping it all on one side. So we'll bring you back shortly. Okay, so I've got the pit barrel ready to go behind me. It's got the firebox in it. I've got the charcoal chimney. It's probably about 10 minutes from being ready to be dumped, maybe 15. And now I'm going to get the pork belly ready. And this is really a quarter pork belly. It's what the butcher had, and frankly, it's perfect size for us here at the camp tonight. I am starting this probably about 4 to 5 hours before I want to serve it. I'm not exactly sure how long it will take. I'm minimum of 3 to 4 and maybe as many as 5 to 6. Nice thing is we won't need to let it rest that long. So I'm going to do this in strips. I'll eventually cut the strips into chunks, but for the ease of putting this on the cooker and messing with them while they're on the cooker, we're going to do strips. So what I'm going to do is kind of measure out. I'd like to get 4 strips out of this, and these don't have to be perfect, but you do want to try to have somewhat uniform size so things cook at the same rate and cook evenly. This is a skin off pork belly. I sort of want to see a skin on pork belly sometime, but this is skin off, so we're just going to cut it into fourths here. And we'll end up cutting these into chunks about the same size as the width that I'm doing now. So they'll be about 1-inch chunks, something like that. Again, you don't have to be perfect, but you do sort of want them to be similar in size. So there we go. So that'll be the last I use the knife in this part of the cook. So I'm gonna remove one glove here. And what I have is some Weber's Sweet and Spicy mustard. I really love this mustard. I want to use a little bit of a binder, which is not something I do much of, but I'm going to do it in this case. A lot of people use binders all the time. Quite frankly, it's sort of a to each their own type of thing as far as I'm concerned. Other people may argue with that, but to me, it's sort of a preference thing. Might need to add a little more, but you don't want to overdo your binder either. So we're just going to get that spread around good. And so use your favorite barbecue rub next. I've got some hardcore carnivore here, which is just something I got at the same butcher shop. I have used it before. I think I might have used it on pork steaks a while back in another video. I can't quite recall, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, I have most of my supplies at our house as opposed to here at the camp, so just kind of use what we can here. I'm going to put a little of this mustard on the side just so I can dip my fingers in it a little bit. And I think this is going to be pretty good here. There we go. And if you're not a mustard person, no worries. You're not even going to really know this was here when it's all done and cooked. So now we're just going to sprinkle our rub. Always go kind of high so you can get a good even coating. Of course, I'm outside here and it's actually a little bit windy here today. You don't have to overdo this. This isn't super thick, but it can take a little bit of rub too. So there we go. You always want to get your ends and your sides. And you can use the board to kind of mop up. Kind of getting some clumps there. Here we go. Coming out a little better now. Again, getting those ends. And with this wind, I'm going to have a little bit of a mess to clean up. So now we're just going to turn them and do every side with a good even coat. And you want to do this maybe 15 to 30 minutes before you put them on your cooker. I wouldn't go any longer than that, but giving it a little time is a good thing too. Get the meat sweats, give a chance for that rub to adhere. And I'm going to do these fat side up on the pit barrel cooker. Of course, like anything, everybody's got an opinion about fat side up or down. Here, I really want that fat to render nicely and glisten kind of in the camera, if I'm being honest. And it'll also run down the sides a little bit and get you a little bit more moisture on your pork belly. All right, that's pretty good. I will look for any other spots I could have missed. But I'm thinking this is ready to go. So I've got them here fat side up, ready to lay directly on the smoker. So we're going to get our coals poured into our pit barrel here in a minute. I'll bring you back for that, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I've got my charcoal chimney. It's still, the coals on top are not quite lit, but they are really ashed over just underneath that top layer. So we're going to dump this in the middle of our paint can. Again, the half chimney really makes that easier. So I'm going to get this out of the way, and then we're going to pull our paint can off. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do that now before it gets too hot down in here. Woo! There we go. We'll get that out of the way. And now we're going to get our rebar in. And for anybody unfamiliar with the pit barrel cooker, the rebar is a necessary thing. It allows for the proper venting of the cooker to maintain that 275 to 300 degree temperature, which the pit barrel is pretty famous for. You know what? Before I do that, I forgot. I want to put my grate in and just get that done. So I'm going to put the grate right in the top here. Rebar's in the way. And there we go. So now I'm going to get the rebar in and the lid on. and we're gonna watch the temperature, and it hits around 275. We'll get our pork belly on. So there we go. Set it and forget it. I'll bring you back. Okay, the cooker is settled in just below 275. I'm gonna remove one rebar here real quick, take the lid off, and then grab our pork belly and get it on. Whenever you're using a barrel cooker and you take the lid off, you really want to limit that time that the lid is off, because your temperature will spike in a barrel cooker when the lid is off. So you want to be quick about it. Here we go. I'm going to get the rebar back in now. Again, unless you're using the pit barrel to grill, you need to use that rebar, otherwise you'll run really high temperatures. And there we go. So we will let this go at least an hour, if not an hour and a half or more, as long as our temperatures are good, and we'll bring you back to take a look at it. Okay, I just checked these and they are ready to come off. So we'll show them to you, talk a little bit about it. It has been just about 2 hours, a little less than that. Didn't take quite as much time as I thought they might take. Part of that's because the cooker ran a little warmer than I was hoping. It was in the neighborhood of 300 for almost the whole cook. It started out at 250, 260, but after about 30 minutes, it was pretty well pegged at 300. So let's pull one of these off here. So I don't know how well that's coming through on the camera, but it's really, really pretty. So what I'm gonna do is sorry, I should have been more ready here. I have a foil pan, and we're just gonna put these in it, and we're gonna let them cool for probably 15 or 20 minutes, because I don't wanna slice into them and have all the moisture run out. I wanna let that moisture redistribute. Man, these are pretty. Oh, that looks so good. I hope you can see that. But we'll get the lid back on this cooker as well. And we're gonna let these cool, and then we're gonna cut our cubes and get them back on the cooker for a little bit. So we'll bring you back. Okay, so we've got our pork belly off the cooker, off the pit barrel, and we've let it cool about 15 minutes, and that's just so we didn't lose a ton of moisture as we cut our chunks. So we're just gonna cut them. Once again, don't have to be perfect, but we're just gonna do 1-inch cubes, or about that. These are so soft and tender. I might have to leave one end here and give that a try. Man, that's so nice. Oh. It'd be good just like that. All right, so got 2 of them cut. Man, that's good. Crispy edge there. There we go. And our last one. So when I get the last of these cut up and in the pan, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Leave a couple of those crusty ends out for snacks. So we'll get that out of the way. And now I've got just a little brown sugar, not quite a 1/4 cup, probably a little less. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it over these. And we're gonna mix all of this around, so it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And now I've got a cup that just has about a 1/4 cup of apple juice. And I've got some barbecue sauce here. It's a vinegar sauce from How to Barbecue Right, one of my favorites. I use a lot of Malcolm's products. So I'm just going to put a little of that in the cup along with the apple juice. Be a little thinner that way. And now we're just going to pour that over these. We're not looking for these to swim in this sauce. We really just want to use it to coat everything nicely, so I'm just going to mix it around. There we go. And now these are going to go back on the pit barrel cooker. 15 to 30 minutes, let this sauce tack up a little bit, and then we'll be ready. So I'm gonna get this back on the cooker, and we will bring you back in probably 15 to 30 minutes, and we'll give her a taste. Need my other glove. Right, there we go. So we'll bring you back in 15, 20 minutes, something like that. All right, we had our pork belly burnt ends back on the cooker for about 20 minutes, and they look awesome. They all are nice and soft. Hope you can see this. Oh. I could just smash that easily, but I won't. But they look great. So I'm just gonna start putting these on our plate here. Be careful not to break them up. Best I can. Man, they smell so good. Ultimately, it was about a 3-hour process. Pit barrel cooker does run a little warmer than you know, a pellet cooker that you can you know, dial in the temperature. So if you're doing these on something where you're running 225, 250, which would be great, they'll take a little longer for sure. But I love the pit barrel cooker. All right, these last couple on there. Oh, that's good. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Gonna take this, it's still a little hot. In fact, it's burning the crap out of my hand right now. But we're just gonna pour the rest of that sauce on there. All right, I'm gonna get a thumbnail and then we'll come try these on camera. So I will bring you back in just a minute and we will wrap this up. All right, so we're gonna try our pork belly burnt ends. Such an easy dish. Hardest part of this might be finding a pork belly. But if you go to Sam's Club or Costco, you can usually get them there. I mail order them quite often from Porter Road. They have really good high quality ones. I use it for bacon all the time, and this one I did today I got from just a local butcher shop that carries them. So I'm just gonna pick one of these. Just really, really nice. Pillowy almost. So just gonna give it a try. Almost like candy. It's like the softest, tenderest pork chop you've ever had, but also like candy. You got to do this. Really awesome. Thanks for joining, everybody. Do me a favor, press the like button, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next time on BuQeye Barbecue.